Good morning. Or whatever it is, wherever you are. So we got, well, in theory we got these builds working. There's hasn't been any updates to test them on yet. And then somebody asked for Linux, which actually should be significantly less trouble than the other ones, because Docker is basically Linux. No. I don't know if actually either of these are going to be... Actually, this might end up being closer to the server builds. Although the server builds, we're using a super lightweight one, and I don't know if that's going to have all the GUI stuff. For cross, so the Mac OS X was like an extra special thing. So this is in Ubuntu. And I might just have to kind of deal with the large search path here to move around between different Docker files. So we've got build server, which is Alpine. We've got package server, which is Alpine. Now, we could see if Alpine works. And it works for the server. So build server Docker file. Might be close to what we want. So this is going to be kind of a weird mashup of something like this. Now you see, I want everything but that. And actually, I guess we don't need cross. I don't think. And probably we don't need some other stuff. Like, maybe I would still want this able to publish if I needed to do it locally. Oh, you know what else I need to do? I should double check if I haven't tweaked anything else in here and forgotten to commit it. What did I do to you? Removed extra line, okay. So maybe we want to publish from here. Now, this is build client cross, which is not a cross. Other than the configure, this is going to be just a make. Apply patches. Oh, install MinGW. Okay, we might have to do some of this stuff. The download addresses in project Well, no, these are from source, right? Some of the locations might change. These locations are certainly going to change. And maybe these libraries would just be available on... Because, well, no, you'd have less stuff on Alpine. So that's going to be a process. Anyway, what I wanted to do... Linux client. Got to rescan everything. Take a first guess at this. So we can try Alpine. That's going to change all of this stuff. So it's going to be a little bit like this. Oh, and then we do min GW on top of it, I guess. Okay. So G++ get image magic, the lib glues, there's glues, Mesa, there's SDL dev. You just installed libSDL. Which apparently... Oh, maybe we needed to manually install SDL because of the cross-compile. And actually do it in the cross-compile environment. So actually we've got SDL. Oh, and then it had a separate thing from NGW. 7-zip for publishing. wget. Okay, so... Ooh, stacked git might be a problem too. In fact, is stacked git why I had to use Ubuntu in the first place? And S3 command. Yeah, I don't know if the work directory is a mounted thing in that environment. Yeah, so this is where we start building up layers. Now, this should actually be the same as... this much should be the same as... What's it? The build server. So, we have, like, Windows client... Is there going to be anything specific in that? I don't think there's going to be anything platform specific here. Oh, actually there is something platform specific here. This is from the Windows one. So fixing up this WinSock stuff is platform specific. And the cross stuff is platform specific. The rest is probably generic. Did you miss... Well, this is going to end up being build client, we know that. And actually, until I actually need the OneLife files, there's no point in sending that context. No. Windows client. So we would normally do fetch, but we don't want to do that yet. Windows client build, which is actually a pretty small command. I think for the interactive Well, for anything that references the shell, we're going to be referencing the shell. Because WinGW tries to rewrite paths, and then that messes up the Docker commands. So you kind of have to do it in the Linux shell. Or it's not WinGW, it's MSys. So you're a whole cross. What do we call Mac OS X build? A whole dev Mac OS X. That's a whole dev Mac OS X. Mac OS X client build. A whole Mac OS. Okay, so a whole Linux. And this is just the build step. Which actually didn't need this, and that was already built from the server. So Windows client. Actually, I had a bash. For testing stuff in there. All right, why did I need the this other command? Oh, you were providing source, which I don't need source here. Also config, which isn't a deal yet. Maybe I was keeping this around because of other modifications. So if we did this in the future, it would be... just be this. Except it's just going to be shell right now. And of course I called this bash. Alright, that was nice and fast. So, this is all apt-get. I need to... did I keep that in my notes? APKey update, git g++, add. I do not have any of this stuff. Add del, upgrade cache, search. So there's the cross file. Let's do a quick test here. We know that was a thing. Okay. Sounds like we might unfortunately have to do... well, that one doesn't update. Oh, we were doing update no cache, so... is that... so they are also separate commands. Okay. Okay, so there is a piece. There is a P7 zip. Is it just install? Add. Okay. Probably we've got a wget. Okay. We've got, this one is, yeah, I think that was why I had to do Ubuntu to get all the Python support and stuff for stgit. All right, Windows client, Docker file. And then this stuff will all be the same. There's not going to be any cross-compile. This is going to be... So we would then expect all of this stuff to work. We would then expect all of this stuff to work because we're not changing environments. This is where things get dicey. Because I need to check if there's anything... Install MinGW. Because I think this is all... I saw SDL. I didn't necessarily see PNG here. But this we're going to kind of have to test. The Git attributes was partly a Windows thing, I think. Batch files. I don't think we have to care about those in this one, though. Output metadata. Wasn't there something... No, I think the stuff that made the Windows metadata was actually somewhere else. Like part of the patches, perhaps. Okay, fetch latest tagged. Well, if we're actually getting to source, we don't want to be cloning that every time. So there might be some stuff in here, but we won't know until we do some of this. These should still be layers, so I guess we can... stgit will probably work. Build is where I expect us to run into problems. And now, if we're going to be doing that, we want to fetch... Next client fetch. This is going to be the first clone for all of these. I guess I could have copied the repositories from any of the others. And it would have been basically the same. So this avoids doing a full reclone in the container every time, but we do have several copies as we do all the different builds. All right, Linux client build. And this is going to be a slightly different layer because it doesn't have the MinGW in it. apt-get install failed? Oh, did I remove something else from... I remove an apt update. Yeah. And that might then be able to get cached. Yeah, unfortunately this layer includes Python by way of stgit, so that's a big dependency. So we did apply patches. Oh, we did shell. We could probably actually switch that to actually proper bash. Linux client bash. Show many files. Oh, so I was just binding in source here. That's how I standard run it. Was I? Oh no, source target equals. Okay, so that's for configuration values, which you don't need yet. I don't think. All right, so we're in source. Build client. Well, it's not going to be configure 5, that's for sure. This is going to be 1. CD game source. It actually worked. I was expecting to have a libpng problem or something. And that's only if we run it. So we have to build the container. Oh, actually, publish build is not going to be the correct script. And the GitHub release, if we did it from here, would need to be modified as well. So actually, it's upload client. So yeah, you're just an upload. You just have to have... What was I doing for Mac OS X? At which point I could really just take this and Mac OS X. And then GitHub, Linux client GitHub release is going to look a lot more like Mac OS X GitHub release, where it finds the latest or the matching release. And then adds to that. So once again, Mac OS X to Linux. Whoop. That's not the repeat. To Linux. That will need the actual config values, though. Successfully tagged and compressing. Creating archive. Oop, archive name. No. Oh, because that was... that's in the build process. Linux client. Build client. 7-zip. Oh, and it's not going to be onelife.exe, is it? In which case, that's actually something we also had to do in Mac OS X. Build client cross. We had to do a little switch here, and maybe we're going to have the wrong version of sed. And client patch version. A little replace in package files. onelife.exe for onelife.app. I think we can just do onelife here. Oh, wait, something got messed up. No, okay, no, we just put it below. Patches master. Just got below the zip file. And then we want to run that whole process again to make sure that it finds all the package files. Everything is okay. OneLife Linux with OneLife. All right, now, which is actually going to be one of the trickier parts. How do we test it? Successfully built. You can usually do partials with these kinds of things. Dot dot, that's probably from game source 1 life, so that would be in source. .352.74. No such container path. Well, okay, try the full container. 8011 EAC0 88E8011 EAC0. All right, well, let's have, okay. 1Life Linux. So I must have mistypoed something. PWD, oh, whole source. A whole source. Is it possible that it's relative to the root path? No such container path. Oh, that's its container. So we have to do a Docker without RM to create a container rather than an image. Isn't there just a thing to create a container? Without actually having to start it? I mean, I guess create a new container. Docker create from... And that was a big long thing. Let's see if we can use partials from that. Six four seven five 02 is probably enough. No such container path. Well, okay. Once again, we might have to do like absolute path. Nope, okay, that doesn't work in this console. Oh, I might need to... What was the fancy new terminal? Is it Windows Terminal? Yes. I guess it's in Ubuntu? Alright, well, I have to do this one more time. Or maybe I could list containers. Oh, then we got my Docker copy command. .74.zip. No such container path. I know I did some on my Mac. Aha, okay, yeah, full path. Okay, so that's a zip file. We're technically in a Windows directory, so we're not going to get all the file permissions anyway. So it doesn't necessarily matter all that much, I don't think, how we unpack that. Then I have a unpack. Oh, I need a full game install. Hmm. Well, isn't that going to be an adventure? Technically, I can probably run the scripts to make one. Although I've not done much with that. Shoot, where does it run from? Does it run from game source? Does it run from build? Make distribution. Windows. Make distribution Mac OS X. Where's make distribution Linux? Are those links? They're just directories. Unix source, build and post Linux. Makes Linux build? Where is... There was an old forum topic. It might even be pinned. Setting up your personal Linux server. Pull and build test system. CD test system. It just says launch it in place. I don't know if he actually does make distribution. Make editor, server, yeah, it's all in place. Alright, what do these things look like? Build... Is it Unix or Linux? Build and post Linux. Okay. Last release number. Okay, so this is going to do the diffing and stuff. CD game source. Diff bundle. So this assumes there's something already built. Make Linux build. Make source bundle. Makes Linux build from source bundle. Export source, clean source. Run to build, touch TGA. CD one life, configure, blah, game source, building. Make directories, copying items from build into directories. Oh, apparently it's One Life app? Is the actual Linux name? Boy. What was that? Oh, also, we now know for certain that we do not need install MinGW. So that was... Those are fine. Actually, it's build client, isn't it? One Life app. XE app. I don't expect that to be any further problems. One Life app. All the graphics, all the stuff, all the stuff, all the stuff. This is assuming a setup that is fully linked, though, right? No, that's package file. So we need, where's the data stuff? There's like transitions and objects. Yeah, this doesn't include the data. Oh. Modified from somebody else's thing. Alright, PWD. Oh, wait. Builds, yeah, I don't think there'll be that much stuff in here. Oh, the, no, not in source. Oh, live, Unix source. No, that's just script. What the heck are you searching in? Maybe I wasn't actually in that directory. Oh, actually, I probably was in the directory and just opened that file. You know what? Export source. CD minor gems. CD sourcester. One life data 7. Move. Oh, I guess that could be faster. Sourcester. This is supposed to be a source bundle. So maybe it's supposed to be a source and binary bundle? Make Linux build from source bundle. Unix source? There's the fetch. Ah, and then linking, doing only linking into data. But this is for like a local build. What does he publish? Now, build, you have to be careful with searching in. Because we've got the built versions in there. Base? There's nothing there. Build and post windows. Maybe base distribution? Make dir. Well, that's all. Yeah, that's all the right folders. Copy game source. Copy one life data 7. Move all editor backup files. And then maybe the others kind of get built on this. Actually, yeah, I mean. And then the one thing, copied, one life app and stuff. So this is the thing that takes a release number, which I have to be careful because I already got some things in there. Build. Well, these are specifically Windows, so Linux. There's base in there. Yeah, so it builds it in there. No. We are currently outside. No, that's the... We are currently inside. We are in build. Make base distribution folder, which is apparently a step in this. Does it get called by something else? I'm gonna have to suffer through this. Meanwhile, I think we can run it. Because there's just no completion here. Make base... Oh, maybe I best typoed it. And you need a number. So the binary version... It actually would be 353 if we're including data. Oh, does this have to include the V? Because that was just one life, blah. And then, maybe? Okay, so ... I was only doing binary builds. I didn't have data. Okay. Actually, I should have this... I don't think there's been any data changes. Build, server, fetch latest tagged. And it tries to check out the latest version, but I don't think there's been any updates since then. Got an extra character there. So we're in build. This is in source. I could have done a depth 1 copy on this. Oops. All right. Back to one life build. Okay, LS. Okay. So I've got the app in my other thing. This is all the data. This is all the settings. There's no binary version number. This is most of what I need, and I could get binary version number from Windows. That shouldn't be too big a deal. Unless we need the like a libstdl or something. And that DLL has to get included in Windows. All right, so I had something that I left searching for make base. So nothing else uses that. Well, unless... I think ACK is case sensitive sometimes. Well, case sensitive all the time, but... What does he use for the actual Linux distribution? There's OS X in Windows. Move base.star to Windows. Make base distribution folder, move to Windows. Or does it always publish be the source bundle thing? So there, a Windows directory exists that had some extra files in it. Would it be Linux or Unix? Windows, Mac OS X has some extra files in it. Maybe it is source. Maybe it's always published with source? Maker. Move out of the source. Is this export from a source bundle? Because that removes the rest of One Life Data 7. But the base distribution includes all of that stuff, so it doesn't need it. Or is that only used for the Mac and Windows builds? Is binary only a Windows thing? You know, I might just have to go download one of the actual Linux bundles to see what's in there. Which is going to be an adventure. One moment. I actually have an email from Jason. I got him a... Alright. Alright, let's see. 217 Windows, Windows debug tools, Intel Mac OS X. Well, yeah, I guess that version would still technically work. You just wouldn't be able to update, perhaps. Unix and source code. Linux binary. So let's grab you for reference. Which actually this might just give me all the files anyway. This might be a two-step process. There's a tar and a GZ. Yep. This, however, is not a up-to-date version. Okay, so it does include a binary.txt. So what does binary.txt in Linux? Or maybe even maybe it assumes that just from GameCPP in the base distribution. Well, make Linux build from source bundle. So he makes the source bundle and then does it without source. Unix source build. So the process to get a up-to-date one. All right, so we've done base distribution. What you are in the source directory, usage release name. It expects cd source working dir, Unix source working dir. It expects to sub-cd to that. From where? And then cd to one life game source? Where do you expect to be run from? rm source working dir, copy source working dir. And it says from source bundle, so this probably expects source bundle. Wait, build and post. Oh, this did the diff bundle, right? Diff bundle compile. Oh, make Linux build. Make source bundle, make source from bundle. That's running current directory, so that would be in the source directory. Right. V353. Going into source. Minor gems. Okay, so all of the source. Recompile. So this is going to be from raw source. Okay, so this will be a completely clean, no patches. He's actually pre-building caches. All right, so source, Unix source. Unix source, Linux tar GZ. So I guess that would be the OneLife v353. And there's OneLife app and binary.txt. Okay. So if we ever wanted to do a complete package, there's a script for it. All right. So that is a whole source, OneLife build source, 353 Linux tar GZ. And I would have done that container with RM. Standard do that container with RM. All right, so that was CD. That part doesn't need base distribution. Make Linux 353. Wait, I saw the cannot stat. Does that mean it needed base? Build OneLife build source. Loaded yeah, so maybe it needs base distribution. Is that in here? Maybe it does need that. Cannot stat, no such file or directory. Oh, nope, that was the thing, because I had to go, because this is not standard source. Do I still have... Nope. All right, and then we are back to OneLife build source. Well, it's cloning its own source. Maybe it's using both? Or maybe it was cloning it from down there. Okay, and now we're building stuff. All right. Is this the container ID? Did not pay attention to that. It's probably like most recent container, if not. One life. V353. Linux.tar.gz. Oh no, that's one life. We need that. Okay, that does not have an icon. And how did this work out? Okay, so that could also be a here. Actually, I wonder if I could copy R the unpacked directory. All right, then we've got, this is just a zip file, which this might, yeah, did not have its own directory. So the custom settings, I mean, we're not as fussed about, unless there's like a file ending issue there. Okay, so it did copy from current source. So I'm not sure if you're patched or not. I guess I could run it and find out. It won't connect to a server right away. But now we have to figure out how to run it. WSL. I found an okay article the other day. VCX serve? VCX serve. Yeah, that might be. Oh, yep, that is indeed the one that they were referencing. So, is this actually the download for VCX serve? Looks like it is. A lot of these sites have troll buttons that are actually ads. And let's see if we need to reboot. Oh. Well, I didn't get that during setup. Ah, okay. I guess it's X launch. Automatically choose one. I don't see an extra settings yet. I guess we go defaults for now. Maybe let's start local clients. Local. So this is like if you have one thing you want to run. Okay. To disable the access control to avoid permission denied error when trying to run GUI application. Native OpenGL, primary selection. Config.launch. And we have to set that up later? Public, private? Really? Maybe there's some internal networking. We'll see about that. All right, so you are up in this stuff. Can I get another one for this? And that counts as a public network? Ah, okay. Windows host IP address. Okay, well, that's an IP address. That's probably some internal network thing. All right, we can hopefully set that up later. Let's have to start doing restart stuff. So this would be some other app you could test to see if this is working independently. There's some other setup I need to do here. We can see if it runs. libglue. libgl always indirect. So you think that would fix this? Or do we have to install some libraries into our Linux to get this to work? Ah, these are all animated. Yeah. Oh, what is it? Ah. Unable to locate. Okay. What is it? Apt cache. libglue1 Mesa, libglue1 Mesa dev, Gen 2, probably libglue1 Mesa? Nope. Oh no, this is libstl. So I guess he was once again counting on people to install their own libstl. Okay, libstl. Here's this figure for your Linux person, you can figure it out. What is it? libstl 1.2 Debian? Well, just libstl probably. If it's libstl version, we actually do care about version, and that's that or Debian. Well, we got console. Do not have display. So I guess we need to debug the display bit. And see if that's even working. Well, it's Chromium. Yeah. Hopefully they're all pretty small. Okay, so our server is not working. So, maybe this is the firewall thing? Where do we edit that? Well, an app or feature. Hey, Yaroslav. Private networks, guest or public networks. Well, it would be an app or feature. It's called XLaunch here. Yeah, the server, fine. How about the client? I need to see a GUI. I haven't actually tried running it directly in WSL yet, though. VSXC server, okay, private, public. So there's two server lines. One is private, one is public. Xminji? Well, in theory, we've got a different server, VCX serve, with the display we think may be set up. But if it's networking, maybe it counts as a public network. So change that to public. Does that only take effect on launch of the server, or do I have to, can it? Actually, are you even still running? Yeah. Currently 0 clients connected. You did not reload your config. Yeah, oh, no? Yeah, so We have an IP address. We have a 0. Ah. Reload system.winrc. Okay, it can launch stuff in itself. So at some level it's working. It's just this is not... There's about... Oh, that was WSL 1. Nope. Yeah, so it is able to run stuff itself. Is that possibly a Windows program doing X server stuff in this one? Display equals when clipboard. So maybe this is where it actually wants you to do the save the settings files. No real useful information there. I mean, I could just go, well, a virtual machine system might be a reinstall, although I think Boink installed something. I don't know if it's a full thing. Yeah, we'd have to set this up and get stuff installed, and then figure out how to get files into it. Because we're not actually compiling the things in there. Yeah, because they're like, hey, it just works. Oh, maybe this was WSL 1. Ubuntu with GUI set up via remote. Oh boy. Yeah, well, we've got the IP. DSIM, enable feature. Oh, select version, we've done that. Oh, so just install XFCE? This is remote desktop stuff again. Ubuntu GUI. Ubuntu on Windows 10. Are you doing the same thing? Windows subsystem for Linux. Configure WSL2. Necessary X server program. VCX serve. Ah, they are saying display 0. Yeah, there's the check both. Now, I don't know how to get that box again. In theory, I changed its settings. Now, there was another VCX serve. Where was that? Which was public only. Did we allow both? Aha! There was two of them. Okay, it did not detect the displays very well. I wonder if we can change we can mess with the display numbers to fix that. Switching it to windowed mode could also help. I don't know if I can actually do that in the GUI here. Oh, it actually is a one life build. It feels like the version is wrong, though. Running version 352. That's the binary. Oh, I specified this as 353, so it built, even though that's the binary build. Well, that's easily fixed. So, unpack 353. So technically, this is binary 352. I should have done this as 352. Even though it's got the 353 data. Full screen might help. A little bit. Unfortunately, I cannot resize this window. Okay, so we don't have settings we can do while running. So multiple windows. A full one large window for the X server. Which I'm guessing gives you like a virtual X server desktop. So I think that's still right. Would picking particular displays give me? I don't know if it's aware of multiple displays. It might just be seeing min and max coordinates. Okay, yeah, so that doesn't even exist. So it's gonna... Maybe I just have to change the screen size? So we definitely need to save that. I need to figure out where to save that. That it will actually use it. Alright, we're going to look at settings. No. Screen width. So it's trying to... No, that's... 720 by 1280. I wonder if like the resolution is off or something in the X server? Because that's way too big. And that does look like largish pixels. Nope, can't do anything with that. Well, so 720, that's what, 360? Or maybe, I wonder if it's trying to like rescale stuff. And what's 1280? 640? Oh, no, that's the internal resolution, not the screen width. Is that right? That's still all wrong. Full X. 3418. This is like or screen. What was it called? Well, I should have just modified these. Screen width and screen height. I forget if that's the window size or the internal size. The internal size might be built into the game. How about full X? That seems ridiculously large. No, 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 no. What is it? It's like 20 by 1080 is standard. Maybe that's the thing it writes out. Oop. Oop. Okay, I did not change it back. So I don't know if that's the X server or the game. I mean, I've proven that it does run. Oh, is that the X server setup? I mean, additional parameters, okay. And actually, what we're looking for is more about my main monitor. What is it? Is it 1920? Is 1920? Actually, is that right? Oh, right. Screen 0. Is it 1080? Yeah, because it's 1080p, right? Okay. It's still larger than the windows I test with. Any other environment. Also, it doesn't actually work like this. It's a black screen. Yeah, the game, it's like it's restricted itself, but the game is still drawing as if it's in that larger space. So this might be a bit of a game issue. But I don't know if it's like this wonky virtual setup, or if it's actually a problem with the way we compiled the game. Well, yeah, you must have had a different graphics setup then. Maybe it has to do with your graphics driver. So we've proven that it runs. We haven't proven that it's usable. So the game is probably, the game might be like pulling some information from the operating system about the screen size. Ah, so yeah, yours just didn't support VSync, I guess. So I don't know if that's an X issue, if that's a... I mean, we could try full screen mode. Starting local clients later is limited. If it's got its own window, hopefully size isn't an issue. Okay, so this is, and then like, okay, and then you start a desktop. And oh no, Windows Y. I don't need this anymore. Okay. Now where the heck did my pointer go? Oh, I just can't see the pointer on here. It's like, okay, it's gonna do its own pointer stuff. Okay. So then this thing doesn't have a window manager. So maybe that's why it's confused. All right, so now to make this look somewhat better, or we would set tell this its screen is exactly that size, but all right, I've still got this other window open, right? Now, oh, challenge. No, this is still my local computer. It is actually running on my local computer, so it should see that as the server. There's actually a bunch of settings I need to change. So that stuff's all pretty much working. It seems to be getting its settings and using its settings. Oh, except they had full screen turned off for that set. No, that's Windows. Settings, we'll have Docker unpack. All right, that should configure to not bother JSON servers and to log into my local server. Did I actually start that? Okay, so the pointer scaling positioning is not one-to-one. Ooh, okay, so now we're having... Now we're having issues. So that's weird. When it was in full screen mode, we had VSync. Or when it was in multiple window mode. Now that we've restricted it to a dedicated window... Well, the double cursor is because of the one life settings. Maybe the software cursor would also make it match up better. Yeah, so now we're having this. So that target frame rate is not going to work. It got it too high a number somewhere. I don't know those settings. Oh, you think maybe this window is giving it a fake frame rate or refresh rate? There's skip FPS measure. I don't honestly know if we want that. If we can tell it what to actually use, and I've forgotten what that setting is. There's a lot of settings. Yep. So I am doing a cross build of what is already a cross-compilable open source program, public source program, and I have to actually test it. Now, to a certain extent, it's running, it's displaying graphics, it's probably good. I would still like to have it just actually play the thing once. So I guess I could do with bad frame rate, but counting on VSync. I mean, maybe if we turn the frame rate down, it'll be okay. Target frame rate. You said you were at 120, son. Stop being silly. Okay. So it's at 100, it'd probably be okay at 60. And I'm technically running this in WSL on the Windows file systems. There's probably a little bit of overhead there. Why does it keep going to 120? Maybe it actually is V-syncing at 120. Do I have to skip frame rate measure for that? Oh, was that in the wrong folder? Yeah, this was Windows. Not that I needed them here, but... Stop confusing me. Oh, that means that target frame rate was also the wrong target frame rate. So now it might try to redetect it, and then we'll have to pull out a possible, or maybe skip measure or something. Expecting 60. Yeah, so I guess we don't have a VSync. Refresh rate with refresh. I mean, yeah, maybe right now it's unset and that is set. Oh, also returned error. Yeah, we might not have sound. Hopefully that's an issue with my setup and not with the game. Oh. Well, I think it's doing sleep waiting or something. Yeah, no sound. So, getting sound on WSL is probably its own little battle. Oh. And this... This sort of works. It's just a lot faster. Yeah. No, actually that doesn't work. And my earlier experience said the warp mouse thing was fine. This might also be some of the pointer drift in this setup, so it's hard to say. Yeah, this looks like a... Oh, this might be the last release version which didn't have Linux support for set mouse. I've not yet published the one that has warp mouse. Okay, but yeah, the audio is probably my problem. Which means our game build is basically okay. And at some point I need to do a new publish with warp mouse. Alright, so that has proven that we can do the Linux build. Now we need to do it on GitHub Actions. Okay. Are all of these files good? So Linux client, apply patches, build client, fetch, GitHub release. Wait, actually it was metadata Windows. Yes, metadata was Windows. Did I call that from somewhere? That's an apply patches. So we don't need that. Publish, in theory, it's still untested. Oh, I've been adding new source directories. That's why it's getting slow. Okay, so we've got build server. We've got Linux client. These are the only ones with source. Anything else? Yeah, because these are just their own files, so they're fine. Build server as a source, config, Linux client, Mac OS X client, package server, source. Yeah, so that need to get updated anyway. And maybe I've got like my ACK filters and stuff need to get updated for that too. All right, now we want to take that and we need to mash up Linux client and one of these. Oops, I copied the source. All right, it's got apply patches. It's all by name. Apply patches. Build client got renamed. Docker file, fetch latest. This is going to get taken care of in the workflow scripts. Don't have install mingw, don't have git attributes, don't have output metadata. This is only for our local release stuff. Build client, apply patches, Docker file, fetch latest. Okay. Reindex, and this might not have some of those source exclusions. Which is maybe something I should look into. Okay, we're back. So we have whole dev Linux Docker file. Whole dev Windows Docker file. All right, so they're in Ubuntu. I think they're relatively the same up till that point, and I'm not using this stuff anymore. For some reason, it doesn't look like they're lining up to me. So we don't need mingw. We don't need install mingw. So actually these end up pretty similar. All right, so this is install mingw, copy ohol, the git attributes thing that we removed. So like all of this. And then that lines up. Whole dev Linux. Whole dev Windows. Oops. Other window contains changes. What? Oh, yeah. Okay, so we removed this stuff. Okay, so we shuffle this around. So probably this just gets copied over, and then we remove the Windows-specific stuff. Which is this... Oh, I still got a set mouse thing in here, too. Well, I guess I haven't completely removed that from upstream stuff. Wait. Why do I even have a... Maybe it was causing some line ending changes with the get attribute stuff. That probably shouldn't be an issue. All right, dev Linux apply patches. There's the output metadata, which is a Windows thing. Let's see, Linux fetch, build client. I don't think that those changed much. There are relative paths. Fetch latest, build client, apply patches, Docker file. Then we had dev Windows. Let's see, run init for testing stuff. Build. Right. The whole dev Linux, 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 Linux. All right, I did that one for display stuff. Uh-oh, I may have not been watching my directory. Def. That's why I got that DE. And that was pretty much how we're using layers from our previous one. Okay. Then that is in. We're messing with actions again. Oh. Oh, there was an actual merge. They put that stuff back over there. But well, I guess I'm going to have that history there. Doesn't really matter. Well, it would only matter if I ended up trying to publish some updates in the meantime. So I guess that's all the history, then doesn't matter. Workflows. All right, so first we have to I don't really want to run all the other stuff. If it's this tag, apply patches, cross. I feel like I did have to tweak some stuff going over to the build version. Patch version, compose file name. Okay, so that was actually the 7-zip. Upload version file. Oh, so compose file name. That would be easier for Mac OS X. Oh, and these were still doing tests, which is fine. Okay, so there's that. Actually, there might not be too much else to this one. Git commit. Now this might be an awkward one because I think I'm in a position where it wouldn't... Well, I could switch this back to publish the actual files. Or just publish Linux to the next version, which you'd kind of want to do for the mouse thing anyway. Does that just behave a lot better? Okay, we left some cross stuff in. Yeah, we left this in. Wait. Now what's saying stat cross? So I left that in one of the scripts that's actually in here. I just didn't break anything. Oh, I guess you're not actually a cross compile. Oh, the source. No, maybe I copied something. Oh, I must have copied something from one of the other ones. Copy cross to plat. Oh, that was the make file or something. That's not actually where it failed. Oh. Even though we're not actually... I actually did need all the get attribute stuff. I want... Nah. Now remove the get attributes. Where were you? Will you fetch latest? Oh, he would just overwrite get attributes. Okay. And we did that before the RM cache. Jason must have something like this in his like system-wide config files or something. All right, so technically, since that's pulling from an external container, we might just be able to rerun it. Actually, that reminds me, I did some dangling containers here and there. There's probably some other stuff I should clean up too. Well, images, I'm not doing a whole lot of volumes. There might be some intermediary volumes. Okay. Oh. I thought I... Oh, no, this thing still had cross in it. That's Tucker. Yeah. Cannot remove cache, fine. We're actually going to do the meat of it. I'm screen flashing there. Wonder if Windows is trying to update in the background on me. Okay. So you're there. Right, it doesn't do GitHub files. So test. Windows. Did I make any changes to this process itself? Steps.zip.output.filename. Stip output file name. You are going to have an output thing. So this, we might be able to do something like, all right, you are, release depends on all of that stuff. That was Mac OS X. So I think this part was pretty much the same. These weren't doing dash test though. And then you depend on Linux. And do you deal with all the... Yes. Upload Mac OS X. Right, and this is the doing the GitHub release stuff. Right, just do not modify. Now I'm actually... We've already made this release version. That's right, it makes a new release, and then I could... Well, actually, I'm not sure if you're allowed to do that with non-draft releases. So I might have to push a new update to be able to fully test this. Oh, actually, this is probably going to test fail. It's going to say, yeah, nothing changed. Oh. Maybe I didn't really test the bypass. Game client version, patch version, mod version. Wait, why does test have... This seems like a leftover from something. So we publish the commit-ish. Mod version. Report, mod version, commit-ish output name. Oh. What's with commit-ish? Wait, commit-ish.outputs.name. That's game client, right? That's game client. That's patch. That's mod. Oh, and then commit-ish was... No, that's Shaw. Weren't we, like, fetching the current release? We did a bad completion there. So we'll definitely have to rerun just to test that. Oh, why did release fail? Already exists. Okay. Now, this should just exercise the test stuff. And then we'll actually have to either delete the release or go ahead and publish some changes. $32.74, 32. Oh, V32. All right. So dot name, outputs version. Do we use mod version for anything besides that test? Actually, I think I was counting on that being a V. So the published mod version should be there, but it looks like these are still running. So we need to take this back to some kind of test task here. That's a lot of work. So we had, this is running the actual release, test version. So we had a report task, and then I had this. Okay, so this was left over from something, this was left over from something. So our test task, we pretty much want exactly this. What was release version? Steps.currentRelease.name, which became game client version? Did I forget to expose that? Release. Okay, well that's why they're failing. We must have deleted the wrong line, so I had an extra line in there. Okay, skipped. And maybe we still got a few minutes. Okay, so yeah, this is all action stuff. It's custom. Oh, I think fix ghost sounds is shippable. Although we actually want to move that down, but SDG series, which I think that's going to pretty much move to first position, with the expectation that it then gets subsumed into a patch we submit. I mean, maybe one above custom git ignore, but... And then export. Fix ghost sounds, the time based, hungerdings. Unfortunately, we get all the line number noise in here, so it can be hard to pick out actual changes. But I think we have the set mouse difference, and we have the patch. So line numbers. Yeah, STL warp mouse. Technically, this would have to go into the README until I've got it merged. Was it sound or horse? Fix ghost sounds. No. Camera, do I have any notes about Windows support? No. We hope this will be V75. I haven't done anything to the code itself for Linux support. That'll be a separate note. There's all line numbers. More line numbers. I guess maybe not doing the ghost horse thing would have modified fewer line numbers. Oh, SDL, the set mouse thing would have bumped a few. I should have taken these notes while I was doing stuff. So a lot of it was messing with the hierarchy thing, which isn't published yet. Line numbers. Series. One annoying thing about the patches is that you just don't have as good of diffs or the ability to go back in history. You know, they maintain their identity, but they're not. You don't have like source control. You don't have good source control of the patches themselves. All right, so change log, new patch, readme. And this should actually auto-trigger a build because of tags. All workflows. Well, so that test failed. V70. Oh, I almost forget this. Oh, it named this based on the commit that updated it. Huh. Okay, you passed. These are in progress. Yeah, that was kind of a weird status updates, but it's like one queue job. Doesn't look right. I don't know if there's any good way to watch all of them individually. Well, we're not doing draft releases, but I could go delete the release if it was an issue. Well, two succeeded. Three succeeded. I feel like, well, no, I guess those did update together. Nope, completed. They put this under tags. All right. Well, we're kind of building on things we'd done before. We'd already compiled two environments. We'd already done GitHub Actions for two environments. So while some of the other steps here seemed like we kind of did half what we expected during one stream, this one actually kind of seems to have worked out. And that's right about lunchtime. I'll also have to go post one of my forum patch notes that there was an update and there's a potential Linux build now available. Thanks for watching. Thanks to support from subscribers and everybody who hosted me. Let me see if I have anything to recommend. Okay, that looks like I see some code. Let's see. This is probably code people. Let's see, we were doing pretty much all... my background build stuff today. Anything similar? Nothing super similar of people I know. Well, I see somebody working on clearing some issues from a couple projects. So if we're looking for someplace cool to hang out, that's someplace cool to hang out. Thanks for hanging out with me. Goodbye and until next time.